Hey, I'm Luke with Cable Grows, and we're putting in a French drain here. This nice property. Basically, the process in which we do it, we'll come in, we'll excavate out all the poor soil and make sure we got good slope, usually using a laser or a level. And then once we get all the poor soil out, we'll line it with a geofabric that's non-woven that lets water through but doesn't let soil or anything get through. So we have 2 downspouts going in here. That'll tie into our solid pipe. We have a trench excavated out there, and then it stops here, but it's supposed to go all the way around to behind that shed for a French drain, so they don't have water sitting here. After we get the fabric in, we'll start unrolling our tile, and we use it's called a French drain man. It's different than like the PVC. The PVC has like 3 holes on the bottom of it. We used to use that, but what can happen is there's holes go in the bottom, and then the dirt can push up against and kind of close those off. On this stuff, it's got pretty good sized slits all the way around, the whole way around. So it'll capture a lot more water and get the waterway a lot faster than using PVC. And then after we get that in, we install our pipe, we roll our pipe out. We always make sure that's seated at the very bottom of the trench, because if it's sitting off the trench a little bit, off the bottom of the trench, that'll create a water gap that's got to build up till it gets out. And then what happens if you're by trees, roots love finding water, so they'll just go right to that water. So we want to make sure all the water gets away as fast as possible. And then after we get that in, we'll backfill with a clean stone, 57s in this instance. And after we get that done, we'll pull the fabric up over top and create a burrito. There's a couple different ways to do drainage. One is a surface drain, which is just a box, and then another one is a French drain. The biggest differences on French drain versus a surface drain and where they work best. A French drain typically works better when you have saturated soil that it just does not dry out very fast, where a surface drain is great for low areas that the water will come in and it doesn't have a good way to get out, but it dries up fairly quickly. Okay, so a lot of times when we show up the job, we'll lay plywood down to minimize turf damage. That usually takes care of most of the turf damage. And then when we're all done with the job site, we'll pull it up and we'll take a blower and fluff it all up. And it usually does a pretty good job. And then also another thing is we usually try to keep stuff fairly organized on job sites. Try to keep all the tile together. Try to keep our tools mostly together. It's not always perfect, but that's just one thing we try to do. So a lot of times when we do drainage, we'll bring in a sod cutter. We'll paint our lines out where we want it to run, sometimes check it with a laser, find the low points, especially if we're putting in a French drain. We'll take a sod cutter, strip up the sod, and then we'll just roll them in rolls and stack them beside the trench. And that way, when we're all done, we get our stone back in, our dirt back in, we'll just take that sod and roll it back out, and we'll tamp it down. We usually leave it mounted up just a little bit because naturally it always settles, and that usually leaves it looking pretty nice.